I don't even know how Hotline Bling starts. I was just gonna sing Hotline Bling.
That's what I was hoping we were just gonna pick up and I'll start.
I was trying to start sing the song.
Nah, it's fine. We're good.
I don't know.
I wouldn't be upset if we just did away with the intro. Acapella singing.
Anyway, welcome to Loafer Boys Podcast. I'm your host, Skippington, with other boys. We got
Tyler.
Oh, I'm Zach. Yeah.
Zach,
Yeah, I'm still here.
Tyler.
We're still introducing ourselves.
Yeah, we are.
Weird.
Anyway, today's a special
First
stream.
time listening.
It's a day late, but it's S's birthday!
It's not. That was yesterday.
That's why I said it's a day late, if you were
damn it.
listening.
Oh,
Yeah, anyway. So, what have we got on the agenda today? We got a spicy story that Zach's been holding for us for a while.
Ooh.
I got a couple spicy stories I've been holding on to. For.
Oh, okay. Well, this is good. So, we start off with
It was more like two.
Go ahead.
Oh, so I was gonna start with the first one. That it's been a couple weeks. Every time we put this podcast off, I'm more and more disappointed that I couldn't tell the story. And it's about a poop knife.
I'm so excited.
The hype has been
I've been
real
waiting
for
so
this
long.
story.
All right,
Been
so
talking about poop knife for 3 weeks.
So it starts off. This guy is he's at his. Let's see. How does it start off? I guess we'll start with his childhood. His family is genetically inclined to take very large, girthy shits. Just behemoths. So growing up, in his house, they had the poop knife. And every time you went to go take a shit, you'd have to, it's this rusty old knife that they kept in their laundry room, and you just, you'd go and grab it down off the wall when you went to go take a shit. And because it wouldn't flush ever, you'd have to take your poop knife and cut your poop in half so it would go down. And so everyone in his family had this problem, and they'd keep one knife in the central location for all their different bathrooms, and they'd have to fight over who had to go what time because of the poop knife. So fast forward, and he's telling this story when he realized that is not a normal thing that all people have. He is, I think he describes it as his drug dealer's house, and everyone's hanging out and testing product or whatever, and he has to take a shit, and he's he just goes in there, and he's done, and he's hey, can someone grab me the poop knife? And his house is full of people, and the guy goes, what? The poop knife. And he just keeps talking about it
the
it's
other
this
guy's
thing.
the weird one.
He's yeah, you don't have one? And so, yeah, push comes to shove, the entire house full of people is berating him for wanting to take a knife in the bathroom with him to cut his shit up so it would flush properly. And so his girlfriend at the time was there talking about it, why is this normal for you? And he's is it not? And then he slowly comes to terms with the fact that it's not normal, though he still has one to this day. And it was a great story, and I just couldn't believe that it's a thing that people do.
That's the thing that a certain family does. One family in all of modern America.
It's not a bad idea, though.
I mean,
It's
if
better
it's
than
a reoccurring problem for your family.
It's more like a blessing.
I mean, have you ever had to do that, though?
I can't say I have.
I've never had.
Yeah,
to.
see-
Yeah, but see, I didn't grab a knife. My reaction was, I need a coat hanger. So, my shit wouldn't flush, so here I am. Dr. Skiff boarding this fucking turd into the toilet.
I feel like that's a good segue, though, into a potential conversation. What's the weirdest shit that you thought was normal growing up?
Yeah.
Because, for instance, I'm an army brat, so both my parents, obviously in the army. We moved back from Germany after my dad gets out, and so it's just my mom and my dad being there. And we used to eat potted meat all the time. Isn't that what it's called, right?
What the hell is potted?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay, I think it's potted meat. It's
Good segue.
it's basically these little cans of meat, right? And it's it looks like Taco Bell meat almost, but it's just
Are you
nastier.
talking about spam?
It's
what I
basically spam, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's not even spam, it's just called potted meat on the can. And so fast forward 15 to 18 years, and I go into the cupboard when I go back home, because this was probably maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I go into our little cupboard and I open it up and I'm I haven't had this in forever, so I'm eating it, and I forget who was there. I think it was my friend from back home. He's that's poor people food, and I was no, it's not. It's just potted meat. And then my dad comes in and he's nah, man, that's poor people food. I was
Fuck.
fuck, what?
So you're a poor guy at heart.
I thought that was normal to just eat shit like that. But no, my dad just comes in there and he's like, nah, dude, that's...
So you're just a poor boy. You don't need no sympathy. Right?
Hey,
Oh my God.
fuck you. Are we done?
No.
Let's end this early.
I can't think of anything. I was just perfect.
I mean, we could just talk about the situation we just had.
Normal. Oh my God.
So
Fuck.
he knows. You're the one who doesn't know. So we're just gonna tell you and get your reaction on this. Actually, you won't know either, so it works out. Kate tells me Tyler's here, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go open the door for him, whatever. As I start going down the hallway, when I open the door, Tyler opens the door. Comes through the stairwell. I'm like, oh, okay, someone let you in. Cool. I'm like, is Zach here? He goes, no, we drove separate. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I'm going to go downstairs, wait for Zach. He's going to go to the apartment. You can. He goes, no, I'll come with you, right? So as it says, he goes, well, I'll come with you, something like that, trying to make it fucking weird. And so I start running down the stairs, do my little, wide man run thing. And I was like, get away from me, you creepy old man. And, as I come around the corner, there's this fucking 8-year-old girl. And she heard everything. And she just looking at me with this face. The most frightened fucking face ever. And I look at her for 1 second, and it was the quickest, I've stepped myself back to reality. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. So I go down the stairs faster. I ignore her completely, and I just keep going down the stairs, and all I hear afterwards is Tyler going, oh, excuse me. And as he comes around the corner, I'm waiting for him. I'm looking at him, and we both just look at each other like, holy fuck. One of us is going to jail. And it was just, I don't know, it was just such a weird situation.
Her demeanor had completely changed because she was the little girl who let me in to your building. Yeah. Yeah, I thought I'd wait. Yeah, she's the one who let me in, and she was so cheerful and happy. She held the door open for me with a little smile, and I was just like, "Yeah, thank you." And she's just like, "No problem." And after the stairwell incident, her face was completely. Her life had been changed.
You're the creepy old man.
Yeah, I know. She did not expect me coming back down.
Oh no, I didn't know that part.
She's under her bed crying right now.
Oh shit!
I guess that's
It'd be even worse if she's one of our neighbors.
Oh my
down
God.
the hall or something.
Oh no! Every time I go to work, I'm like, shut the fuck up! I'll kill you.
That's something I do to Jackie anytime we leave. Anytime we leave or we come back, I always run away from her. And I'm like, quit following me. And she always says, no, wait, stop. And then she starts chasing me. And so I'm sprinting up or down the stairs every single time.
Good shit.
But I've never ran into anybody. I never run into anyone.
I always run
So I think
people.
it's great that
If you ever run into somebody, you just gotta start crying on the spot. Help me, please! She's crazy. She's trying to steal my semen.
It's hard to get a seaworthy crew around here.
What was the other story you had, Zach?
Oh, it wasn't so much a story. It was just it was an A or B question, and I wanted to see everyone's reaction.
Okay.
So, which one's better in a vacuum?
I just like how the microphone's probably picking up everything you're doing in your Taco Bell bag right now.
Good. Product placement.
Some
Give me more.
ASMR.
Sponsors, maybe?
Sponsored by Taco Bell. Eat our meat.
Yeah. So, A or B question. Just don't think about it too much. Which one is better? Sexism or racism?
No.
Sexism.
Sexism.
Yeah, okay.
All right, Kate. Yeah. No love from Kate.
That took no
Racist.
time at all, right?
You said no time at all, but yeah, it really didn't require any thought.
I thought, nah, man, I can totally get away with sexism.
Yeah.
And I can't get away
Yeah.
with racism.
Both were fine 50 years ago.
Well, here's the thing, right? If I'm fucking 50 years have changed. But if I run down the street and I go, "Hey, bitch!" Someone's gonna look at me like, "You better not come on me, bitch."
I'm gonna turn around.
Right? But if I'm running down the street and I yell, "Hey, N-word," guaranteed 20 black people are gonna come around the corner like, "What the fuck you say, cracker?" And I'm like, "Oh shit."
I like how you're assuming there's always a mob at the ready to jump your bones.
always
Whatever.
Hiding in the shadows.
If you said they came around the corner, 20 of them, they're waiting.
Seriously though, whenever a white guy yells out the N-word, have you ever seen somebody not approach him like, "Hey, what the fuck's wrong with you?" And 3-4 more people come around like, "What's your problem, man?" And they all beat his ass.
I guess. I don't know.
I guess I've never really seen that.
I was going to talk to you guys about that too. You brought up a good point. Do you ever just scream things like the N-word in your car because nobody's
All the
gonna
time.
hear it?
All the time.
There's
Never.
that like part of me that just there should be no inhibitions. You should always do whatever you want to do, but that's one thing that you just can't do. So I scream it as loud as I can in my car, like lemon grab style, and it just helps me in public not have to say
You
it.
sound like me when I was little. I used to scream when I was left alone in the car because I thought it was soundproof.
Yeah.
So nobody outside the car could hear me. So I'm just sitting there like screaming random shit at the top of my lungs while my mom's in the grocery store.
You know, it's funny, Kate. We didn't introduce you at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah, it's okay.
Why don't you shut your mouth?
Yeah, do that in my house sometimes though.
Yeah.
Wait, actually, that's another good. You guys ever do anything fucking weird in your car and like you kind of think back about it? Like when you were a kid. Like I remember when I was like 5 one time. We were getting in the car to go somewhere. My parents were taking a while, but we're all sitting in the car and the car's running. And for whatever reason, my 4 or 5-year-old self had a fucking mental breakdown, thinking that the car, like the brake was gonna give up, and that we were just gonna start rolling down the hill. The hill's like this big, and like we wouldn't have really rolled really far. But I just started having a fucking mental breakdown, screaming my fucking eyes out. And I think back on it and how like I want to time travel to that particular point and just knock myself out.
I just like how you said screaming your eyes out. Can we just note?
I used to ask my mom if she would ever kill me. And so,
Did you give her like a scenario?
yeah, so
Okay.
I watched a lot of TV, and I thought I was gonna give her one of those like change.org type things. I was like, you should quit smoking. Like that was the basis for it. But what came out was, Mom, would you ever kill me? And she's like, what? And I was like, okay, here's my cue. Cause that's what you're doing every time you smoke it. And my dad was like, you fucking serious? He starts digging into me and shit. I mean,
How old are you?
I don't know, like 7 or 8.
And here you are.
Yeah, but joke's on me because I've smoked for 7 years now. So.
Did you give her being a fucking idiot?
Yeah, I guess so. I deserved it.
Oh my god.
That's divine comedy.
You have to be the change, asshole.
I
For
swear.
your mom.
Man, I used to live on the TV, and so I thought that I was gonna pull out the perfect commercial and stop my mom from smoking, change her life.
I hope she hits you with that one day.
I hope she stopped
Straight up,
smoking
she's like-
and you picked it up. That's funny as hell.
Does she know you smoke?
Mm-hmm.
She's never tried that.
I hope she hits you with the same joke though. That'd be great.
You should bring it up now. Said I'm smoking now.
No. She's waiting for the moment like where he's like has like lung cancer from smoking.
Oh my god. Gotcha. Got him.
And she's like, did you murder me?
Achievement unlocked.
Damn. What sucks? Well, I mean, I should have said that. Not sucks. What's weird is that she did quit smoking now. Like
That's
3-4 years ago or something, so now she can like say stuff like that,
Yeah.
and there's no way I can't ever
I'm just a piece of
recover
shit.
from that. Feels fucking bad.
God, that's funny. Oh my god. It's so fucking funny.
So I brought an incident up to Estes today. I'll let Estes share his side first. He had a pretty crazy dream.
Yeah, I don't know why, but Skip thought this was insane. So I want to blame it partially on my friend Devin, because I got a call this morning at like 10:30, and I woke up to answer it, and I don't know why everybody lies when like somebody says, "Oh, did I wake you up?" Like I was like, "No, you didn't." Obviously, he just woke me up, right? And so I'm blaming it on him because he like threw me off so hard. He was basically listening to Still Tippin', my favorite rap song, and he was like, "Hey, I've thought about something for your stream. You should do the last 4 words that Paul Wall says, and it's 'Baby holla at me.'" But he's like, and then Devin just goes off on a tangent. He's like, "Baby holla at me," and he just says it over and over. And he's like, "Yeah, I just spent like 10 minutes just in my car doing that over and over." He's like, "Every time you do something cool, you should do that." And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay." So I was half asleep. Anyways, go back to sleep. I have one of the weirdest fucking dreams I've ever had in my entire life because it was so left field. So the dream starts. I'm in my room in my apartment. And I like turn the corner out of my closet, and there's a big fucking panther, like a massive panther, crouched on the ground, like about to pounce. So it pounces, And I'm like, oh shit, here we go. I don't know, it's a dream. So a deer comes out of nowhere, gets in between me and the panther, which is cool. But the panther lands on top of the deer, which lands on top of me, which lands on top of the bed. So I'm like trapped. And so the panther's like sitting there eating this deer, and then it's like licking my face, like I don't know why. And I'm like terrified out of my mind, but I know I'm either gonna die or I'm gonna find something to kill this panther because I gotta get out. I don't know what happened next. Like I just know that I switched bodies with like another me walking through the door, and I knew about the situation that had just happened in my room, so I was like, what the fuck? So all of a sudden, me comes out of the room that I was just in and looks at me, and like I was with some other people, I don't know who, but it was like, I was just like, oh man, I really love blankets, I just got done making some. And I was like, oh wow, this is really fucking weird. So like, I'm gonna call it like
Blankets?
The one,
Yes,
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why. So I'm just gonna call like the me that comes out of my room A. That was the original one, and then the me that comes in through like the door is gonna be B, right? So B walks to the door. I'm in B's body, right? I'm staying in B's body for the rest of the stream. So
Yeah, B.
I walk into my apartment room, and I open the door. The first thing I see on the ground is this panther that like it just looks like a fucking blanket, but it's breathing and its eyes look at me, but it can't move. And so I don't know if it didn't have like any bones or like what, I don't know how the logistics of it works, but it freaked me out because I was like, that's still breathing and alive, but it's a blanket and that's weird as shit. And so I look like further down the room, and also there's me again, skinned and fucking breathing, and my eyes are moving and I'm looking at me. So now there's 3 me's somewhere. Like I'm in one of the bodies, there's one over there that was just smiling, and then there's me that's skinned in my room. And luckily my Fitbit started going off because it was like what time I normally wake up. And so I woke up to that, and I came out here and told Skiff, and he thought that was the craziest thing, I guess.
I don't know. I think that's just so fucking crazy. Like how you're having 2 dream instances in one dream. Like you're having 2 parallels of yourself in one instance, and like you're aware of both person's situations and like thought process and shit. I don't know. That's like Dr. Manhattan. Like you guys watch The Watchmen. It's like Dr. Manhattan when like he's having sex with a girl, but he's also doing all the science experiments, and he knows everything that's going on at one time. I don't know. I thought that's what it was. But essentially, what this turned into is a segue into would you fuck yourself?
I said no already.
Why?
Because I'm not gay.
Why is it gay though? It's not gay.
Because
it's asexual, aromantic.
No, it's not asexual. Because
Yeah,
just because you have sex with another body, like that's what makes it gay or not gay. It's an exterior source.
But it's yourself.
But it's an exterior source.
So
it's still another
if you
male
masturbate,
body.
what is that?
Wait.
If you masturbate,
That's a singular action, though.
yeah, okay, but look at it this way.
I think we're locked in a circle here, though. If you have sex with yourself, that would make you gay. But it's only gay if you have sex with another gay person. So are you calling yourself?
No, if you have sex with a straight guy, that's still pretty gay.
All right. Well, here we are. So
You're having gay sex with a straight man.
No, it's straight because we slapped each other in the ass.
Now we're back to the things you thought were normal your whole life that are actually really fucking weird.
all right, yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
wait,
yeah.
no,
My thought
I've had
process
sex
is
with
skewed
plenty of
about that,
people,
yeah.
but it's not
I
gay.
don't know.
But anyway, so like,
As long as it's in a gymnasium locker, it's fine.
Not a locker room, but the locker is
No, the locker. The locker.
it's a big ass locker.
Locker?
Yeah.
Hardly know her.
I was raised in a clown family. We were incest. We just fit like 20 of us in the locker, and we just went at it.
We were incest.
We were incest.
We are.
So anyway,
Fun for the whole family,
no,
right?
it's funny that you say that. That you say we are incest. So like,
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
so yeah. So it turns into like, so he's like, I'm not gay. I'm like, okay, but it's fine. It's you having sex with yourself. Think of it as like, it's not you and Comanche. It's you are Comanche Collective. We are Comanche, right? So if you have sex with yourself, is it really gay? Like masturbation's not gay, even though you're touching your own dick, right? So if you have sex with yourself, what is it?
I don't know.
I think when you masturbate, you have one sexual organ being active.
A miracle.
What if it's a collective sexual organ?
But if it's me and me, like 2 separate bodies, there's 2 organs going at it. And they're both
Well, what
lines,
if you?
you know
What
what
if
I
you're
mean?
like?
So,
I'm gonna ask my gay
What,
friend.
like, I guess. What if you're
yes.
pegging yourself while you're jacking off, and like, same thing.
can you?
I mean,
You just kind
Can
of
anyone?
you just.
If that's what you like.
yeah, if you're in a certain way.
It's.
No, I mean like when
If you're having sex with yourself, so you have to tell yourself that that's what's happening, and you just do it.
I think if you have to convince yourself that you're not doing something gay, then it's probably still gay.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, if you pray it away.
I just want
10
to.
Hail Marys.
I just want to Eiffel Tower my wife with me, myself, and I. That's...
Have I told you guys about Incest, the game?
No.
No, but I'm really worried.
No, I didn't make this.
Is it like a family
Wait,
game?
did you say
or like
nut?
a board game?
It's
or...
a family game.
All right.
It's a family game?
Yes, Incest
Oh, no
is the
shit.
game the entire family can enjoy.
Oh, boy.
So,
Okay.
I did not make this game. This was the brainchild of my friend Tony and my friend Ashley. So,
Are they
we were
okay?
just, this was back in college, and we were just sitting around one day. We usually play like card games or something on like weekday nights in the college dorm lounge. And then all of a sudden, like one day, Tony and Ashley just come bursting through the doors and they say, "Listen, guys, we made a board game and we have to play it." And they throw down this board game and it's a big title that is like literally made everything from scratch. It's Incest, the game the whole family can enjoy. And we played this game for probably 2 hours, and the whole point of the game was that you had these little tiny people mannequins, like of kids, like kid mannequins, like I don't know, they had opposable figures and stuff, and you could put them in different positions if you wanted to, and you had to go around the board while you had to avoid getting trapped in trailer houses, and they all had like names like Uncle Touchy's Naked Puzzle Basement.
Yeah.
Uncle Touchy's Naked Puzzle Basement.
Yeah.
You won't wear a shirt and you'll cry. That's a Patton Oswalt bit. And you had to, like, the first person to get through, every time you got molested, you had to go all the way back. So you have to get through the whole, you have to get through the whole thing without getting touched by a family
That's
member.
your finish. Like, do you lose?
Like, everybody wins in incest. It's a win-win for everybody.
You really flipped the script on the rules of the game.
The worst thing that happens with incest is you get to have an extra chromosome. You get one more. You have a benefit on everybody else in society by having one more. You have 27 chromosomes.
You know, usually adding more. I mean, Sam, let me back up here a little bit. You know that phrase, less is more?
Yeah. But
I'm functional.
I'm gonna steal that game from them sometime. We can play it. It's a good time. God damn it, that's a funny game. They have little cards that you can pick. It's like, oh no, Uncle Jim had 3 too many beers again. Like,
Oh.
3 too many?
3 too many.
How do you know?
Well, this is 1 too many. This is 2 too
Yeah,
many.
like how do you
What is this?
section that
Oh
out?
man, this is 3 too many beers. Come here, kids!
you have to plan your inebriation in such a way that, all right, 3 beers in, molestation.
I know I'm really prone to molestation when I drink, so
Oh yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, no.
Is there a story behind that, or are we going to
way.
jail? Or
There's a
what?
couple stories behind that.
Okay.
None involve me entirely. But like, just what we were told with Jackie. Jackie basically, like that one night you came home super fucking drunk. You guys were making a lot of noise in that bedroom.
Jesus Christ.
and then all I hear is like them making noise, and then all I hear after that is. And like me and Kate, we're sitting on the couch watching like TV, and we just look at each other like, what the fuck was that? And like,
Was that when I threw up on the floor?
that's when he threw up on the floor, stepped in the puke, stepped on the carpet up here, and then went to the bathroom.
And puked some more.
That's 3 too many beers.
And the other one is that story you told me when that guy gave you the ride home?
Oh boy.
You tell it.
Oh Jesus. Man. This sucked. This sucked so hard. I was at a friend's house. At a really big
This
apartment.
story's so fucking funny.
Oh man, I fucking hate this story.
You're gonna tell
I
me.
hate that this happened. Anyways, so I'm at a friend's house and we're having like this big party, and fuck off. I don't even remember everything that happened, but I just remember like we were drinking a lot, and there was, again, back to, I know I'm not gay.
Do you have to tell yourself that?
No, why do you have to tell
Yeah,
us?
no, like, if there was ever any reason to doubt, this effectively removed it. This is like the panacea for any homosexual thought I might have. So anyways,
That's a good word.
thank you. This guy, thank you. This guy, and like he comes in and I know he's gay, and like when I get drunk, I get like this really big personality. Like I want to be friends, but I want to be like best friends with everybody. And so me and this dude, we start hanging out, like not hanging out, but like talking. And I don't remember a lot after a certain period because obviously I was drinking a lot. But I remember I was calling Skiff because I was like, hey man, I need a ride home. And the guy, his name was, we'll just say G was his name. We'll call him G. Well, fuck, Gary, fucker. Gary's like, nah, dude, I got you. And so I was like,
Gary
okay. Gary's like, I got you, I'll drive you home. And at this point in my mind, I'm like, my drunk addled ass is like, you know what? That sounds like a perfect idea. Nothing could go wrong. Sweet. So we're driving, and I start like kind of falling asleep, and like we're, I don't know, maybe a mile and a half maybe down the road. And so like I'm falling asleep as soon as he wakes me up to give him the next direction. So like basically he's like, okay, where am I going? I'm like, that's my address. He's like, okay, so where is that at? And I'm like, take a left. And then he finally takes that left, wakes me up, and he's like, all right, where next? I'm like, go down this road, take a right, back. But every time I wake up, I notice something is weird. And the thing that finally ends up happening is we pull in, and his hand, as he wakes me up, has been slowly moving across the center console towards my leg. And I remember at one point it was on my knee, and I was like, that's weird, but I don't know why. Until I wake up, and his hand is trying to go down my pants. And I'm fully like, I sober up immediately. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? So I pushed his hand away. I opened the door. I kind of half took the seatbelt off, kept it on. And so like, I just kind of fall straight into the ground. And I bear crawl all the way to the apartment without closing his door. And so like, the whole time I'm in the parking lot bear crawling, all I can hear is this dude in his car saying, wait! So are we not doing this or what?
Get a goddamn sign, you idiot.
Yeah, so like I come in here and luckily Skip is asleep, so like, oh, okay, cool. But the next morning I tell him the story, and now he thinks it's the funniest fucking thing.
This is the funniest fucking
It
thing.
would have been hilarious though if he would have been watching it from the window.
Oh my god! I've been like, that fucking Estes?
Is he crawling? What is he doing?
Is he crying?
Is that guy in the car jerking off?
Is that my Uncle Tom?
That dude's sad jerking. What's going on out there?
So yeah, that was
It's a good time.
no.
That's a funny fucking story. Because like, just the way he was telling me it, like, he was telling me it like he was a victim, but he couldn't stop laughing. It was like really nervous giggles the entire time. And I was like, this is a rare form of Estes I'm never going to see again.
It was an extended shock phase, I think. I never really got over it.
He was just like, well, then this happened. It's like, oh my god, this is new for me.
This is it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Haha. And then what?
Oh god.
Which also actually leads me to the worst thing you've ever done drunk. I'm curious. I want to cue you guys for this.
The worst? Oh no, you're probably gonna win this. The worst thing I've ever done drunk. I don't know. I've never really done anything bad while drunk.
I mean, not even bad. We can just do weird. For example, I'll start it off. The other night, I bought Overwatch. I bought $50 worth of loot boxes in Overwatch.
Oh, you poor soul.
Wait. The best part is he's got the video. He buys the loot boxes, right? And then like the next day he shows me the video where he buys the loot boxes. And then he in real life goes, oh! After I'm like, what, did you not know? Like,
Yeah, in the stream, I'm like, holy shit, there's 51 boxes right there. And I don't remember if it was you or somebody in the stream that I was talking to. They're like, yeah, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? There's not going to be 51 boxes there.
it wasn't me, I was asleep.
Yeah,
But anyway, I can continue. You bought Overwatch, 50 loot boxes.
I think the worst thing, though, was that I ended the night so hungry, but not willing to do much for it. I took like this jar of cheese that I had, and I was just scooping it out with a hook, like a Captain Hook finger, and just eating it like that.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was.
we've all been there.
I mean, yeah, I think so.
Did I ever
That's
tell you
definitely not
guys
the
the-
worst thing I've ever done.
The
But
story of the first time I
recent.
ever got drunk, like ever.
Oh.
I went to. It was the worst thing I ever did, so that's why I brought it up. But got invited out to a party outside town. I grew up in a really small town, so whenever we went out to drink, we went to like a bar in a very rural area where on somebody's property or something. So my friends took me out. They bought a bottle of UV Blue because that was my first ever drink. So it was UV Blue, and then we did like Mellow Yellow or something. And I don't know if you guys had like the first time you ever been drunk, you don't know when it's coming, like how it's supposed to feel. So I was halfway through that bottle of UV before I even realized that I was drunk. And then it hit me like a fucking brick, and I blacked out completely. Then I kind of come to when my friend drops me off at home, and all I can remember in my drunken state is, Grandma told me I have to wake her up when I get home. No matter what, I have to wake my grandma up when I get home. She didn't know I was going out. She assumed that I was just going to go hang out with my friends. So I clumsily opened the door after trying to get the fucking thing open with my car keys. Just sat there like stabbing at the damn thing for like 15 minutes. Neighbors probably thought there was someone trying to break in the house. I get in there, I go to my grandma's room, and I shake her. I'm like, Grandma, I'm home. And she doesn't respond. She's like totally asleep. I'm like, Grandma, I'm home. And I just shake her, and she like turns over. And then I think like, she didn't wake up. Like, she doesn't know I'm home. I have to let her know I'm home. How do I do that? So I yell. I'm like, Grandma, I'm home. And she's like, ah. And I was like, fuck this. You're waking up. So I go to the kitchen. I grab a glass of water. Come back. I pour it on her. And she starts like, what the fuck are you doing? And she starts screaming at me. And she's like, oh my God. You the biggest dumbass that ever was. I'm like, I'm so sorry that I did that to you. I don't know why, because of Scout milk isn't what I'm drunk. I have diabetes. Yeah, so my grandma, bless her heart, she's like, you're drunk, like, because she's a nurse. And obviously, you don't have to be a nurse at this point. But she's to diagnose how drunk I was. But she's like, okay, we need to like detox you. So she literally sat like, this is the worst and also the best thing that happened, because like when I was drunk, because I pour the water on my grandma, so you gotta detox. She puts me in a chair, she sits across from me in the room. This was at like 1 a.m, and she literally stares at me for the next 5 hours, and we just talk about like, it's not that bad, not that big a deal, your great grand. We just talked about like stories about how she was drunk when she was a kid or whatever, and it was actually really fun. But that was, I was grounded for probably like 6 months. I wasn't allowed to have like any human interaction for like 6 months after that.
That whole time I was waiting for you to say that she died at some point.
I know.
I was waiting for it too.
When you said she didn't wake up, I looked at Skip and I was like,
No.
and then like I thought you were going to get a baseball bat to wake her up. I don't know. I was waiting because you said this is the worst thing you've ever done, so I'm like, I guess comparing my worst thing I've ever done.
Yeah, like no, I
like,
don't do anything
oh,
crazy
shit,
when
what
I
did
drink.
you do?
I'm pretty chill. I get chill when I drink. So.
I guess the weirdest thing I've ever done was actually the last time I got drunk. Is I put on my chicken soup.
Oh yeah,
I took the chicken feed video and I fucking hucked it in the hallway out against that wall, and I started army crawling into it. I'm like, I'm gonna make the next video. And as I do that, look over and there's a dad and his kids going in the hallway. And I'm like, oh no, I gotta get back inside. So I grabbed the chicken feed and had to run back in. It was a really short interaction, but holy shit, it was weird.
Yeah, I do have the video actually.
You have the video?
Oh.
So yeah, that was us drunk. I think
I was so comfortable. That's all, I get goosebumps from that.
Do you guys throw up a lot when you drink?
Yes.
I've never thrown up when drinking
every
before.
single time.
Only thrown up once, and that was like the time I quit drinking for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Because Kate hadn't come home, and we just got home from whatever. Oh, it was when we went to PAX East.
Yeah, and I had to stay behind for the funeral.
And I get back, and I'm like cleaning up the apartment real quick, and like Estes and Willis, they you guys watched the apartment for a while, and like I'm like, hey, let's drink tonight. So we did, and it was a really interesting night, and I got really drunk, and I threw up the next morning.
and couldn't pick me up at the airport because we were so hungover.
She was coming the next day. For whatever reason, I thought it was a good idea. But like, I guess the highlight of that night for Estes especially was I tried rapping Kendrick Lamar, but I got drunk to the point where I started slurring. Like, and I was like, fuck!
Nice.
And after that, I crawled into Niv's kennel and laid with her.
Yep.
And that was about it, I guess.
That was delightful. That was a good time. The worst thing I think I've ever done, though, was I got naked, I streaked through a neighborhood, found a cop car, slammed my hands against it, dude was still in, hops out of the car, chases me and a bunch of my friends, we're all naked, streaking, hopping fences and shit, and I hide in a doghouse.
Did you get your nuts like caught in the
That's exactly what I was hoping not to hear.
But I hate being tased, and that was the night that I decided to tase myself, too, so.
You tear open your nutsack and see your seminal vesicle.
Can I tell a story that isn't mine, like about somebody being drunk?
No, you can't.
All right, fuck off. I'm gonna do that anyway. So this is a story of Mr. Tollefson. I don't want to say his full name. Taylor Tollefson. He was telling us this
Isn't
story.
it hard to stop yourself from saying
Right. So this is this kid from Jamestown, and I don't think
Like, from the suicide?
I don't know what.
I don't think a lot of people live from that.
Oh my god. Okay. So this kid's been drinking a little bit. He's
Guys from Jamestown has been drinking a little bit. That's how the suicide pact happened.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry, man.
done? Jesus.
Holy shit.
That's fucking funny. Hey, from Jamestown just drink a little bit. Yeah, so did the rest of them. Alright, tell your story.
Are you thinking of Jonestown?
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm like,
I was trying to say
what
suicide
happened
back
in
to
Jamestown?
Jamestown.
Whatever.
like I
It's
know
like
about
the fucking
Jonestown, but-
Kool-Aid thing.
Yo, this isn't the first time I've been an idiot.
Oh my god. I was trying to connect the dots in my head. I was like,
This ain't my first fucking
this
rodeo.
motherfucker's talking Jonestown right now. Okay.
Jonestown's funny too.
So, Jamestown, this kid's been drinking a little bit. He's probably like 17, so he was underage, and he was with his friend, and his friend pulls up behind him in a car, and he breaks out a red and blue flasher that you put on the top of your car. Illegal, by the way. You can't have one of those.
Oh god.
And he's like, "You want to play cops and robbers?" And the guy's like, he's like, "What? We can't do that." He's like, "Yeah, we gotta play cops and robbers." So Taylor puts this red and white flasher on the top of his like 1987 pickup truck that's got rust and shit all over it. This is this beat up piece of shit that would never pass for a cop car. And then he like literally chases his friend through the streets of Jamestown at like 70 miles an hour. Okay?
Sounds safe.
Yeah, right. And they didn't get caught until they go past this church parking lot, and then whoop, the lights go on. This police officer pulls him over, and he said, I like impersonating a police officer is a felony. I automatically have the right to search your car. And he's like, "Oh God, I'm so sorry, officer. I didn't mean to do that, blah blah blah." And then so he's like, puts him in handcuffs, puts him up by the car. He's like, "Do you have anything that I should know about?" And Taylor's like, "No, I don't think so." First thing he does is the cop reaches under the seat, pulls out like an open container of like a 175 of Black Velvet. And it's been like half drank already, and that's what he was drinking before. And he's like, "Okay, well, driving under the influence, open container." He keeps searching the vehicle. He takes opens the center console, takes an inhaler, and as he's picking this inhaler up, he puts it on the hood of the car, and it rolls, and he hears like a tinging sound. I was like, that's not normal, right? So the cop opens this inhaler and finds like some marijuana in there.
Oh my god.
So he finds this little baggie of marijuana. He's like, "Okay, possession, drug possession. That's another like charge or whatever." And Taylor's just sitting over there like, he's like, "Are you sure there's nothing else that I should know about?" And he's like, "I'm pretty sure that's it." So he opens the trunk.
Oh boy.
There's this big cardboard box, and he pulls it out, and it's nothing but black on black porn.
That's not an offense. That's not an offense. He
It's
wasn't
not
wrong.
an offense.
He wasn't wrong.
It is because he's 17.
Was he wrong?
and you have to be 18 to own that stuff. So now he has underage possession of pornography. And the tangent from the story, they asked him when he was telling the story, like, why black on black porn specifically, and why did you have a whole box of it? He said, black on black porn is the hardest shit you'll ever watch. That's what he said. Yeah. Oh my god, the kid's fucking funny. And so, and so he, and the cop's like, okay, well, possession and porn, and you're 17 or whatever. And then the funniest thing, he finds another little box. I'm sorry, it was a bag full of bloody tampons. And the cop is like getting genuinely concerned. He's like, okay, you gotta tell me what this is about. And he's like, okay, whoa, I get really bad nosebleeds. And the cop's like, oh, thank you, God. Like, holy shit. We thought this was going to be bad. So now they have all these things that, he pulled from the car, and he's got a fucking shit list of charges. See, the cop drives Taylor home to let his parents know that he's going to be in jail for the rest of the night. So he opens the dad opens the door at like 3 a.m, and the cop said, he's like, oh fuck, what did you do? And he has to list off in front of his parents every single thing that he had. So he gets to the booze, he's like, okay, there's the DUI, okay. He gets to the weed, he's like, why do you have weed, Mom? Okay. And then and he had some black on black porn. Did you know about that? And the dad was like, oh shit.
Not again.
So, and then he gets, so he goes to court, and he gets off with like a month's worth of community service or something like that.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Because he was, totally gets off basically clean. He gets somehow gets off with like a month of community service. And I can't remember there was another kid, when he first told this story, we were in a room full of like 5 other guys. And someone said something about, he got a minor in possession, and he had to do like 6 months worth of like community service or something. And he's like, he listened to that story, and he's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me right now. Like, this is the most bullshit I've ever heard. Oh, that's the story of Taylor Tollefson. The bloody tampon part always gets me. I'm just like, oh,
Fucking legend.
that kid's crazy.
That's insane. I was gonna say, I've got 2 stories that I can think of.
Up.
Yeah, don't worry about me. Bone hurting juice.
I've got that to that.
Yeah, if I had $1 for every time I've heard that.
Yeah, it's the power of diabetes.
Yeah. My buddy was playing the fractured butthole, and every time Scott Wilson comes on, he's like sending me Snapchats. I'm like, God, thank you, I get it. It's like just spam.
Captain Diabetes was a staple on my team.
Yeah, he's pretty phenomenal.
Anyway, sorry.
Oh my god. So I have 2 stories. One, when I was younger, it was more just like a funny story. And 2 was at when I was a groomsman in a wedding. Also a bad time. So the first story is, it was my first apartment right out of high school. We were all like 18, and there was like 6, 7 of us over. And we lived really close to a 24-hour gas station. And we had been up drinking all night. And we all go, well, let's go get snacks. The guy who works there overnight, he's super cool. And we go in there a lot. So he always knows as soon as he comes in, and we just bullshit forever. Okay, going over there, you good? All right, so anyways, we're going outside, and we're walking, and we go through like 2 apartment parking lots and across like a little frontage road, and there it is. And so we're walking through this parking lot, and this guy has his trunk wide open. And we look at it, and we're just like, there's nothing in there. And we're like, should we just close it to be courteous? And we're like, fuck it, let's just leave it. So we walk, and we go to the gas station.
I don't think that fucking did anything. Pretty sure that picked it up.
Popping bottles.
We get to the gas station, and we're chatting it up. We end up buying a bottle of ranch, a package of pepperonis, and a bunch of snacks. So we're walking back through, and we see this guy. He's like double, triple parked in this visitor spot in this parking lot. And in ranch on his windshield, we wrote prom ? And then we stuck pepperonis in the grill of his truck, the entire bag. And so we go back because we needed more. So we're back in there, and the guy's like, why are you here buying this again? We're like, I don't know.
Really
and so we got more, and as we're walking by, there's also like a little auto thing like attached onto the gas station, and they had a whole bunch of used tires stacked up by the dumpster, and I was like, well, I want one. So I picked up one of these tires,
Naturally.
and one of my buddies is like, oh, I want one too. I was like, why? We already have one. And so we're going, and I'm like rolling this tire around.
I am the tire lord.
Yeah, so we're like, this is a great time. He goes, well, doesn't this look kind of weird? Like, if someone drives by, like, won't this look weird? Everyone's like, yeah. But it'll look conspicuous if we run. And mind you, the one guy who also took a tire, he was black.
Ooh.
And so he picks up his tire and he starts sprinting, and we're like, yeah, that doesn't look conspicuous at all. And so we're all just like yelling at him, like, just what are you doing? And so anyways, we invited a couple other people to prom. And fun fact, we never saw those vehicles park outside again. We go and we get to the trunk, and we both have our tires, and we look at the trunk, and we're like, well, this seems like a good home for these tires. So we put these 2 tires in this dude's trunk and close it, and we're like, we never heard from that again. Anyways, we went to our giant dumpster. We all stood on top of the back of the dumpster and peed together in it, and that was like a bonding experience. And that was
Isn't it? Seriously?
And that was the end of that story.
Peeing
When
from
you
the
drop,
top of a
no, when you
dumpster?
drop trowel with other people, and you all are just like
What do you think, Kate?
basking in freedom, like, fucking gold.
I can't contribute.
So we did it off our 3rd floor balcony a few times. We crossed streams. I just prayed to God we didn't have people underneath us
Yeah,
outside.
it's amazing. You hold hands.
But straight up like into the dumpster. It was just like the loudest echo I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like if someone drives by, we're fucked. But that was a good time.
That way, if somebody starts peeing off kilter, you can just grab their cock and just be like, no, in here. You're going to piss on the seat again.
Yeah, you're not allowed to touch your own. That's the game.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the second
It's
one.
bonding.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm standing by that.
Can't relate.
Well, we can fix that. What are you doing later?
As long as
No, seriously, that used to be a staple thing at parties that I went to, because I used to party with like the same people over and over, and so nobody would go to the bathroom until everyone was ready to.
and they grabbed a poop knife and they.
No, that was like what we'd say. We'd be like, drop trowel, and then like it was like a call and response across the whole room. Like I would look at somebody like drop trowel, and then they would catch it and they'd be like, hey, drop trowel. And then we're all looking at each other like shaking our head, yeah. And then once all the guys in the room agree to drop trowel, we go outside.
This is one of those things like why the Midwest is basically the South.
No, dude.
And the South is basically the Midwest.
Kentucky
and
fucking
up in
rules.
New England, we're just like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
This is some miscreant
dude.
shit. Like, that's weird as fuck.
Kentucky fucking rules, man.
I hate
We had so much fun.
Nothing but them good old boys.
I'm just saying, I would have never streaked, I don't think, in Massachusetts.
I almost got arrested in Kentucky for public urination. Speaking of.
So I'm saying, you learn to be sneaky.
Yeah. You can't just drop trow anywhere.
Or use a fucking bathroom.
Can't relate.
We were outside of a bar here one time, and oh man, we
Stole that from me.
went cosmic bowling, and there was like, yeah, you were there for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we went cosmic bowling, and there was a good chunk of us, and we all went to this bar afterward to like keep the night going. We were all having a really good time, just rolling off of it. And my friend's mom was there, which was really weird because she was hammered, and so she was like, "Take pictures of me and send them to my son," and it was really, really awkward. Anyways, we're all outside at the end of the night, and
My son, okay. Is there an Oedipus thing going on?
yeah, it was weird. Anyways,
More you know.
it was her, and she was out with one of her friends, and we were all like outside talking at the end of the night. The bar was closing down, and her friend goes, "Hey, you guys want to keep watch for me?" And we're like, "Why?" She's like, "I'm gonna go pee in that bush." Like, what? Like, it's right next to the building, and she's like, "Yeah, I'll be right back." And she just goes and crouches in the bush, and she comes back, and we're like, "Did you? Okay, you know what? Okay, the building's right there, but okay."
I wish I could crouch in the bush.
You can.
Yeah, you can crouch in any bush whenever you want.
Well, not in the capacity I was referring to.
Can we talk about the hypothetical potential for that situation though? Like, say a dude walking by in khakis rubs up against it, he's like, "Oh, I guess there's like a lot of dew out or something."
Put the fertilizer out
It's a
here.
skit.
Nice.
The R. Kelly bush.
See? I knew we could build on it.
Jesus
I don't know where to go from there.
Oh, I do.
Because the next step from like a bush that pees on people is just a bush that has sex with underage girls, and that's
If a bush has sex with itself, is it gay?
I don't want to. I don't want to do this R. Kelly Bush anymore.
Speaking of R. Kelly Bush, I didn't do laundry for like a week and a half, and I kept forgetting to do laundry, so I went and had to buy boxers. Have you ever felt like that low? Like that?
That's lazy.
It's not even lazy. It was like
I've done that for socks before.
I started working out again, so like waking up is a lot harder now because like my body is always sore and it's harder to get out of bed and shit. And so like the other day I was like, okay, I'm waking up. I've got a dentist appointment. I'm gonna be up anyways early. I'm doing laundry. So I wake up right at 1:30 and I have to be at the dentist appointment at 2, and it's like 30 minutes away. So I had zero time to do shit. I didn't shower that day.
2:30.
I ended up having to go and buy boxers so that I could work out and not have to like, I don't know, be all swampy and shit. So yeah, that R. Kelly Bush to swamp boxers, swamp crotch.
Yeah.
That's a Kentucky thing.
Yeah.
Swamp crotch.
Can't relate.
You had never been.
You always have to steal my shit, and I don't understand. I don't understand.
No, I'm pretty sure I said it on the podcast.
You're
first.
my biggest fan. You are my absolute biggest fan.
So
When I move, I'm signing something for you.
What I decided recently, and I haven't told you about it, is I'm actually just gonna start stealing shit you say on purpose. More on purpose. Just make you happy with that.
Oh, is that the thing that you're telling me about? That,
No, that's not even it.
Oh, what's the thing that's gonna make me mad?
I'm not gonna tell.
Man, I don't remember how the whole conversation went, but he was like, "Oh, I've got something I know that'll make you mad. Like it's something that I was like, "All right, what is it?" He's like, "I'm not telling you." I'm like, "That also makes me mad. Is that it?" And he's like, "No, it's something else." And he won't fucking tell me. I just want to know.
I know something that will really get to him, but I'm not gonna tell him what it is.
I want to know what it is.
And it's not like haha, I'm getting him all riled up. Like, no, I know this will make him mad, and I'm not gonna tell him.
It's fucking gay. I just want to know.
Yeah, you'll find out one day.
I've taken into filling silences with like telling people, "Is this music? I love music." I did that today, and my friends, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Is that from that video?
Yeah.
Well, it's exactly from that video, yeah.
Is it coming from the green or the black? The black. Love it. It's great.
This is my favorite part. It's over?
So it's over.
Oh, okay.
Shit, there was something else I was gonna say too. I can't remember.
I love this part. Oh, it ended? I know. That's what I like most because it gives that smug look. I know. Oh man.
So what about your other story, Zach?
Oh, no, that was it.
What was a combination of the two
Well,
stories?
you had another one where you were a groomsman or something like that.
Oh, that story.
Mm.
Okay, so alcohol stories.
All right.
My buddy's wedding. Great time. Lots of friends and family there. The church was a no alcohol tolerant. They were zero tolerance, and that's totally fine. We were all respectful of that. And what we didn't know is that there was a party bus picking us up to go do photography and take us to the reception. I'm like, okay. We get on and we're like, let's go to a liquor store then. And he's like, all right, cool. And there's one maybe 2 blocks away. The bus driver takes us one on the opposite end of town, and it takes about 20 minutes to get there. And so we're all like, we're going to be late. And so we go in, we run in, we get what we want. We start drinking, we're like, okay, so our photos are where? Downtown. And I was like, oh, well, that's on the opposite end of town again. And so we are now about 45 minutes behind. The whole reception is already there doing the social, and they are getting irritated. And at this point, the groomsmen were drinking a whole bunch, and the bridesmaids were trying. And it just wasn't working. And between me and the groom's brother, we had a whole bottle of Crown Royal Apple in about 15-20 minutes. And we were just like, all right, let's just start like pulling on this back and forth, and we do photos, and it was a great time, and we're slowly pulling up to the venue, and they're like, yeah, you have to get all your stuff out. And we were like, oh, we can't come back and get this later. Long story, like down the road, we found out the bus was actually supposed to take us all home at the end of the night, and he didn't.
Ow.
We got pulled out of the reception to grab all of our stuff off the bus so the bus driver could go home. The coordinator got fired after that because of previous things too. But anyway, so my buddy's brother and I are like staring at this bottle, and there's like a good chunk of it left. I'm like, we're just gonna have to chug this until we want to cry and then pass it off. And we chugged the whole bottle. And so from driving from downtown across the river to the reception spot, yeah, it slowly just hit me like a ton of bricks. Ooh. And we walk in, paired up, and we're walking in. I walk past everyone, and there's a big stationary table with the cake and a bunch of stuff on it, and I hip check the fuck out of the table.
Oh god.
I am keeled over. I stand up like nothing happened. I sat down. Like, thank God the table was like built into the floor.
Sturdy.
And I sit down, and the guy sits down next to me. He goes, "Yo, are you okay?" I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "You hip check the shit out of that table." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You'll feel it later." And I was like, "Okay."
Oh, that's the truth.
And I did not. I don't remember a lot about what else was going on, and I don't remember eating. But I remember tasting it in my mouth, and so like when we were dancing later, I kept asking people like, "What did we eat tonight?" And like they're like, "It was a bunch of pasta," and like you just ate a fuck ton of garlic bread, and I was like, "Nice." And yeah, I do not remember giving my speech at all. Everyone did a little speech, and it went from like bridesmaid to groomsman, bridesmaid to groomsman, bridesmaid to groomsman, and it went back and forth and back and forth, and I do not remember at all giving my speech. And I asked people later because I felt bad about it, and they're like, "Oh no, it was great. Like, it was fine." And supposedly the whole thing's on video, like the whole reception's on video, and the party. I'm the only one who hasn't seen it yet. And they're like, "Yeah, every time people come over, they're like, you have to see the video. Zach's speech is the best part." And I'm like, that worries me so much. And I just don't remember it.
Just watch it one day.
Yeah, I need to. But yeah, the rest of that
I
night.
gave the going away speech to one of my supervisors for like when we were at meetups. I was drunk.
Oh yeah, dude, I was pumping Skip full of alcohol. He rarely, if ever, drinks with me, but when he does,
not just with you at all, like in general.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're gonna drink, it's gonna be with me. I'm sorry. I'm your roommate. I get that claim. But I was pumping him full of drinks, and he was taking tequila shots with me. Like I was actually impressed.
I drink a lot.
It's all your fault.
It was 100% my fault. It
I
will
was
always
drunk
be
as
my
fuck.
fault.
I really could not believe I drank so much.
It was all absolutely my fault.
And I had to give the speech for what the fuck is he came doing?
I keep smacking his ass.
No.
We're talking about the cat, not me.
He keeps licking me though.
Oh, I just remember the actual weirdest thing I've ever done. Do y'all know who Tucker Max is?
Nope.
Okay, so he's this dude that writes these books. He's got like 4 books, and they're all like... He's basically like the best, worst male
I was
ever.
about to ask if it was a clothing store, but that's TJ Maxx.
No. So Tucker Max, like, he's the type of guy that like would get slam drunk in an RV, and he writes stories and stuff about all the stuff that he's done. But he was basically going to like Chicago in an RV, and he was slamming down the thing. About. Yeah. So I used to read his books a lot because I thought he was just fucking hilarious. Like the way he tells stories is amazing. He's a great storyteller. But one of the things he did was he got really drunk and started calling himself Shiva, Destroyer of Worlds. And so I was like, you know what? That sounds like a great idea. So I go to this big party that my friend has, and his parents are out of town for a whole month, so I'm just staying at his house. His house. And so he has like a pool outside, hot tub. Like he's pretty well off, right? So we have a bunch of people come over, maybe 18, 20 people. I don't know why a lot of my stories include me getting naked, but there it is. Again, and so we were like skinny dipping and shit like that, and so I kick the door coming out from outside to inside, and there's a bunch of people in there playing beer pong, and I kick the door as hard as I can, and I just scream out, "I'm Shiva, Destroyer of Worlds," and people literally start hiding bottles of liquor from me because they, like, I'm not kidding, like, to this day when I talk about this story, they're like, "Yeah, seriously, I had to hide like all of the alcohol in that like bathroom." And I was like, "Yeah, I remember I was looking for shit to drink and it was just gone. Like there was a plethora and then there was none. I couldn't even find a fucking beer can."
That's how you know you hit your peak.
I was in rare form. I tried to have a threesome and I fell asleep. Bad news.
Bad news.
I mean, it was a great story, and I think I think my body was so impressed with how much alcohol I'd had that I didn't wake up with a hangover at all. Like I woke up feeling like Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I felt
Norse gods looked down upon you. And,
hell yeah, they blessed me. I felt amazing. I
couldn't
find any of my clothes though. It was like a scavenger hunt when I woke up. I just remember I found my boxers, one sock, and I was like, you know what, I give up. So I was on my friend's what is it called? The little seesaw, the horse. What is it called? You know, where you like go back and forth.
Teeter-totter?
Maybe.
That's what we called it.
I don't know. Is that
Seesaw is the name.
Okay, so like it's the one that has like it's like a rocking chair, but it's for a horse that you sit on. And so I sat on that for about 30 minutes until my friend came downstairs and was
Naked?
like, no, I was wearing boxers and one sock. Boxers and one sock. He's like,
Naked
what the
teeter
fuck are
totter.
you doing? He's like, I can't find my shirt or my clothes. He's like, did you check outside? I'm like, no, I didn't get that far.
I see in my mind a grown-ass man on a teeter-totter in boxers. His
about-
little kids just walking by.
No, I was about 19. Me and him were the only ones there. Everybody else left.
Oh man, we almost hit an hour.
Fuck me.
Yeah, we gotta talk for 28 more seconds.
Shit.
Alright, yeah, no, let's go ahead and do that. I can't sit here and
Stop.
listen
Yeah.
for 28 seconds.
Alright, so last little.
That's only the first time he's done that today. I woke up earlier, and me and Jackie were sitting there listening to him do that forever. And they're like, what is he doing?
Wait, what was this?
Earlier, you were making some fucking noises. You were like, yeah. Yeah. I was like, stop, you fucking autist. Jesus Christ. Yes, it was.
Okay, was it this morning?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I mean,
I'll go
there's
get
like,
Jackie.
There was like 2 in the morning I was making those noises, but like...
No, it was when there was sunlight coming through the windows. I remember waking up
That's
and
like your
hearing Steve
wake-up
going,
call.
yeah. I was like, I'm up.
I was up too.
That should be an alarm for the phone.
More like ringtone.
Yeah, you should
Caliber my
take
sword.
Estes' phone and record yourself doing that instead of just his ringtone.
Oh, speaking of phones, so fucking Estes sends me a photo on Snapchat using this fucking mustache filter.
Yes.
Right? And he sent this to me. He said hi. So
I was on the toilet, by the way.
He's on the toilet, and he's like, when he goes poop, he's like pooping for like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
he's
hell
in there
yeah.
forever. And like, so what I did,
Bring
is
the poop back.
I rarely ever use Snapchat. Like I use it maybe here and there, and I use the filter. And I take it the photo of myself, right? I'm like this. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but he just says hey, and what I did is I took the phone. I didn't send it at all.
He just slid it under
I
the
slid
door.
it under the door.
Oh my god, I lost my fucking mind.
You should still have the video, right?
Oh yeah, I think I saw the video.
Did you save the video?
I think I have it on my story.
You should save it.
Show the viewers of the podcast the video. They're gonna love it.
Sent us, yeah, because I said I sent a snap to Skiff. He slides us under the door.
And all you hear in the video is, hey, can I get my phone back?
It was so fucking funny because I didn't know he was there at all. I was on my phone and then I hear like that. Like, I was stumped and being slid under the door, so I look up from my phone and I just see his face going, "Hey."
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah,
next level.
Nothing but. Okay, can I get my phone back?
And then when like he got up and like slapped it under and fucking hits me in the chin.
Yeah.
I was like, ah!
Fucking got him.
It was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Oh man, you leaving in like less than a year makes me so sad.
November.
I want to cry about it already.
Where you going?
Boston.
Getting out without the military makes me sad.
Not like none of that was a fucking actual word.
When you get sad, you turn to Bill Cosby. Sad Cosby.
When I'm alone, I make those noises too, but I do it to my dog. Like I'll sing popular like songs on the radio, but just replace them all with like neo-Nazi words and shit.
Yo.
That's like what
That
what
family
you
who lives in your
So
building was
what I do when we're driving in the car is I usually
Usually.
I usually do this stuff. I usually I'll change it to about like killing
Oh,
Jews.
racist shit.
No, listen, I also do that. Like I no, but I've changed songs to like the Nazi regime one time.
Yeah.
But usually I turn songs into about fucking me in the ass.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I do that too.
Consistently.
Actually.
Oh God, Tyler, we are on the
Is it
we're on
gay
the
though?
same level. It's not gay. It's me.
Okay.
I sing. Yeah.
So there is a
Oh,
difference.
Yeah, if I'm fucking me in the ass. It's not gay.
Okay. God damn. I been writing a lot more music lately. So, and I find that like I get a lot of good inspiration when I'm just like riffing in my car, whether it be It's just like melodically, I think I find a lot of really good ideas. They just come to me when I'm screaming at the top of my lungs in my car. So I started recording it, and it really put things into perspective of like how much racist shit that I say. Like, because I'll sing, but I don't have like words because I'm not fast enough to like freestyle the words to stuff. So I'll have these great melodies, and it'll be like, I'm gonna fuck you in the ass and gonna rape them up. Things like that. And I listen to it when I get home, I'm just like, gee, something fucking wrong with me. Like, I'm the worst person I've probably ever.
No, people when they're by themselves are a completely different person than like
Right.
when other people are around. And like it's one of those things like when you record yourself when you're by yourself, and then you listen to it later, and you're like, wow, that's who I am.
Yeah.
That is me.
I hate me.
That is me, raw and uncensored.
Like, I'm not a neo-Nazi, but god damn it, if that recording got out, I'd be so fucked.
I was expecting a lot more whammy. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I feel like when people are talking about like, oh yeah, I'm singing my song, like singing songs in my car and stuff. Like I just imagine whammy immediately
All the time.
because it's like, yeah, it's like stuff like that. I don't know.
It's good to mix it up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyways,
we got anything else?
Do you guys ever, like, pull your eyes back to try to see better? Like, you know what I'm talking
No,
about?
that doesn't help.
No, it does.
Do you feel it makes you smarter?
You have...
can't relate.
Yeah. More Asian. Like, so I got
So
really
speaking
shit.
of Tyler not being racist.
I dropped like $160 at the bar last night. Not trying to glow, but I got really fucking drunk last night. And I had my contacts in, so I walked across the street instead of driving home because I'm responsible. I passed out on my friend's couch. I took my contacts out before I went to bed. So I wake up in the morning, contacts are in the garbage. I can't use them. I don't have my glasses with. How the hell am I going to drive my car home, right? And I find that if you take your fingers and you pull your eyes back, it actually does help a little bit.
Maybe
like
if
it
you're
makes
fucking
things
blind.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
if you have
I'm totally
vision.
blind. Like I have
Oh.
I'm fucking totally like I probably hit like 3 kids on the way home. But yeah, that was weird.
Don't tell me that. As someone who works in optical, don't tell me that shit. I don't wear my glasses, but if I squint really well, yeah, it helps a lot. So don't tell me
I
that.
feel like that only works if you have shit vision.
Yeah.
I hope
Because
it's a
when I
kid.
do
I don't know
that-
if it was girl.
Oh god.
The girl that you saw.
Jesus Christ.
Don't
Why is
worry.
the creepy old man that I
Don't
left?
worry. Yeah, don't worry, she's not a problem anymore.
Okay, well, I think that's a good place to cut it. So,
Yeah,
thanks again for listening to episode 3 of Loafer Boys Podcast, all that good stuff. Anybody want to say some final goodbyes or whatever?
Nope.
Yeah, man!